Hello everyone, welcome to Coder and Boots. So in this video we are going to discuss about the topic what is clickjacking and how to prevent clickjacking in Nginx. So before getting into clickjacking, so let's understand the fundamental behind clickjacking. Okay, so attackers use a technique called iframing. Okay, so to hide or to embed a vulnerable website or an API within a website. Okay, so iframe is basically called inline frame. So what this technique do is basically we can embed another website or another HTML page within one website. Okay, so basically there will be a parent page, and inside that we can have a child site or a child page. Okay, so the HTML tag for doing this iframe is given here. Okay, this is an example. So this is a simple example, but what these attackers do is they make it, hidden. Okay, with the help of CSS and all. So or also, in this itself we can make it hidden by setting the width and height 0. Okay, if you make the width and height 0, what will happen? It will not be visible to the end user, but it will be there in the page, so it won't be visible to the end user. So but it's not just in this way, it can be in several other ways as well. So we can put the transparency to 0, so it will be purely transparent, and the child page will be there, but it won't be visible to the user. Okay, so this is the technique that is used by attackers, and iframe is not a vulnerable feature. Okay, so there are good there are good places where we can use this. For example, you can see you can iframe or frame YouTube videos in your page. Okay, that's a good feature, because let's say you have several videos in YouTube and you wanted to embed those videos in your site. Okay, so there we can use this iframe, and that is a required feature there. Okay, but a problematic feature is, let's say if we somehow get a link to the subscribe button and embed that as a hidden feature in one of your pages. If anyone watches that page, automatically the subscribe will get clicked. Okay, so in that scenario it is a vulnerable feature. What will happen if the website has a lot of traffic? Anyone who is a logged in user comes to that page, automatically gets subscribed to that YouTube channel, right? Same thing happens to Facebook as well, and YouTube also likes. Okay, so likes also we can do in this way if it is vulnerable, right? Facebook also the same thing may happen. Okay, anyone visits a site, so if we have embedded hidden link that performs a like. Okay, so what will happen? So automatically the likes will increase, or in this way, we can make them post topics, or we can make them add to group, send friend request. Okay, so share post, everything will happen without the consent of the actual user. Okay, so this is the vulnerability that we are going to discuss about. These type of vulnerabilities were there in this Facebook, YouTube, Twitter and all. So it was all fixed right now, but it was there in the past. Okay, but this whoever developing new applications of your own, right? So if you don't take care of this, what will happen? The same issue will impact your application as well. Okay, so we are going to discuss how to protect your application from not having this kind of problems. Okay, so let's discuss what is clickjacking. So clickjacking is also known as UI redressing. So it's basically what? It's a technique that is used by attacker to trick you. Okay, to make you click something else, and it internally clicks something else. That's the problem. Okay, as you can see in the images, so we have a play button which is visible, but internally a hidden button pay. Okay, so what happens when user clicks on play? Maybe it's a video. Okay, so pay may happen. Okay, internally it might be clicking a third-party website, so third-party site which makes you pay to that particular account. Okay, let's see, more common example is this Facebook like. So let's say we have a hidden URL that clicks on, that makes you click on a Facebook like, but you will have something visible called claim your free iPad. So attacker might host this page. Okay, and let's say if Facebook is vulnerable to this particular clickjacking problem. Okay, especially the API that is responsible for the Facebook like. Okay, so what will happen? Somebody comes, a user see, okay, I'll get a free iPad by clicking this, right? They will click on the button. What will happen? they won't get iPad, but their like will go to Facebook, the corresponding post, or like it can be like or friend request or follow request, or maybe joining a group request, or posting something, sharing something. Anything will happen based on the already existing signed in credential, okay, and without the consent of the user. Okay, so these are just examples. So now Facebook does not have this vulnerability. It was there long back, but as I explained, this embedding feature is required in some scenarios. For example, videos, Facebook videos or YouTube videos. So for all these features, we need to enable this embedding capability or iframing capability. But for features like follow, subscribe, add friend request, okay, or delete something, these kind of actions, we need to remove this iframing capability. Otherwise, what will happen? People will exploit this and make other users do these actions without their consent. Okay, so we are going to discuss how to prevent this this kind of problems. Okay, so when you are developing, let's say, a social media site or maybe an application that performs some actions, so in this we will let you know how to enable or disable these kind of capabilities. Okay, how to prevent clickjacking in specific areas, how to allow iframing in specific areas. Okay, so this I have already explained. So if, let's say, if it is available, if Facebook is vulnerable to this, what will happen? Attackers can make people like, follow, send request, share post, make post, etc. without the original user's consent. YouTube, so attackers can make people like, subscribe, okay, so etc. without people consent. Okay, Twitter, we can make people like, retweet, tweet, etc. without their consent. These are like, I mean, the real world problems. Okay, it was there, now it is not there. So what we are trying to achieve is, we don't want your name in this list. Okay, so in Nginx, we are getting there. I mean, Nginx is giving some capability to protect us from this vulnerability. Okay, so the Nginx is giving basically 3 options for us. So one is deny iframing completely. Okay, so I completely means, let's say you are hosting your application in the Nginx. Okay, you can deny the iframing option at all. That means your application cannot be iframed. Whatever you have hosted in Nginx, it cannot be iframed anywhere. Okay, so that is first option. Second option is allow from the same origin. That means you can allow, or the application that you hosted in the Nginx, okay, you can make it allow iframe from the same origin. Same origin means what? From the same domain, okay, from the same place. So that means, I mean, the same site itself, maybe like, I mean, the different paths in the same site itself can do iframing, but it cannot be iframed from a third party site. Okay, so then there is another option, allow from specific URL. So this capability is where, I mean, we can allow iframing from specific third-party URL, but we need to explicitly specify allow from option, allow from the specific URL. Okay, so depending upon your requirement, okay, so we need to enable this based on, like, I mean, whether it is deny all or allow from same origin or allow from specific URL. Okay, and this configuration, so as I explained, let's say in case of YouTube, so if we are developing YouTube, we need to deny this iframing capability for subscribe button. Okay, so subscribe cannot be iframed at all, right? Because we want users consent to subscribe, because if I am not liking something, I don't want to subscribe that particular channel, right? So that's why I'll make deny for the subscribe capability. But if you see the video, play video, right? Play video, I want iframing capability. The entire video page, I need iframing capability, right? So for that particular piece, I need iframing capability. And like button, I don't want, that means it is going to be a deny, right? So allow from same origin, so it can be another use case. So in some, let's say you have some pages where you want to allow iframing within the same application itself, so those particular sections you can allow. Okay, so Nginx is giving this capability. You can make this configuration set at the complete Nginx level. That means anything that is hosted under the Nginx, okay, will deny or allow, or basically apply this rule, whatever you configured everywhere, or you can set it at the virtual host level. Virtual host level means what? So let's say, like, I mean, you have a domain, for example, coderinboots.com. Okay, so you wanted to, and you have another domain, maybe coderin something else.com. Okay, so in codeandboots.com you want to deny everything, and in the other domain you wanted to allow from the same origin. Okay, so you can set this configuration at the virtual host level. That means it will be applicable only to that specific virtual host wherever you are configuring. Okay, so in the third level is you can even configure at the location level. Let's say within a virtual host itself or within a domain itself, you wanted to enable it only for specific path. Okay, that means you have location tags, right? So in Nginx configuration we have location tag, so we can even set it inside the location tag itself. Okay, so that means to each location we can have different configuration. Okay, so depending upon your requirement you can set this configuration at different level. Okay, so the configuration is add header xframe options. Okay, in case of deny it is deny, in case of allow from same origin it is same origin always, and in case of allow from specific URL it's allow from and the URL. Okay, so now let's get into the practical. Okay, so in this practical example I am going to use two URLs. So one is site.codeandboots.com. so this is the attacker's website. Think about, like, I mean, attacker has hosted a website to trick the users. Okay, so this is attacker's website, and foreign site.codeandboots.com, this is, think about this as a genuine site, third party site. Okay, but this is vulnerable. Okay, vulnerable means the developer of that site doesn't know, like, I mean, this vulnerability, so he didn't configure any of these. Okay, so for example, think about the Facebook scenario. Okay, so think about this is the Facebook and this is vulnerable. Okay, so what the attacker will do, attacker will make a nice website. Okay, maybe, like, I mean, something that attracts users, and then inside that they may keep the iframes of some of the actions corresponding to this website. So what will happen, user may click on something here. Okay, so the attacker will attract the user, maybe, like, I mean, get free iPad. Okay, and on click of that what will happen, it will trigger some action in this vulnerable site. Okay, so similarly, like, I mean, play something over here, so it will trigger something in the vulnerable site. Okay, so our goal is how can we protect this vulnerable site. Okay, so, and how can we I mean, we should not be part of, or we should never be like a vulnerable site, right? So the goal is not to become a vulnerable site. So, and how Nginx helps us to protect this this issue. Okay, so now let's get into the Nginx. Okay, so I have an Nginx locally installed. I'm not going to explain about virtual host or any other Nginx configuration because these were all explained in the previous videos. So please watch the videos in my channel to get more understanding of Nginx. I'll explain only about the specific configuration. Okay, so now let's go to the Nginx configuration /etc Nginx. Okay, so as I explained, we can set this at the Nginx parent configuration level. Okay, parent configuration level means, so if you configure it here, it will be available globally across all virtual hosts within the same Nginx. Okay, so for example, this is like /etc. so this is an Ubuntu operating system. So, and I have installed Nginx. The default configuration file location is /etc Nginx. Okay, inside this you will see an nginx.conf configuration file. Inside this you will see sections like events, http, right? So the configuration for the global configuration will need to be added in the HTTP section of the Nginx conf. Okay, so I have already added and commented this configuration here for easiness. So this is not there by default. Okay, this is a configuration that we need to add. Okay, so I just added something called security clickjacking. So here if you add header xframe option same origin always, means it will allow iframing from the same origin. Okay, add header xframe options deny means it won't allow iframing at all. Okay, so this configuration, if you do it at the Nginx level, it is applicable to everything. Okay, I'm not going to do it at the Nginx level. I'm going to do it for a specific site level, as I explained in this example. So my vulnerable site, foreign site, codeandboots.com. So I'll show you how this happens over here. Okay, first let's see what is hosted over here. Okay, so /API. So I have, okay, so foreign site dot codeandboots.com /API Okay, let's see. For there is a spelling mistake. FORIEGN. Okay, so if you see, there is an API hosted. So I have a Python API which is hosted behind this particular URL, and if you go to conf.d, okay, so you can see two configuration file. One is foreign site.conf, second is site.conf. Okay, so in the site.conf, what we have, so we have, this is the attacker site. Okay, so site.conf is the attacker site. Okay, so maybe I'll rename it like mb site.conf to attacker site.conf. Okay, so in this attacker site.conf, what I have is, I have a simple HTML page. Okay, so site app. Okay, and even I have a proxy path also, slash API also, but I'll not be using this path in this example. I'll use the HTML content which is present in this var www site app. Okay, so let's see what is there in the var www site app. So let's open that. You can see index.html over there, right? So this is the attacker's website, index.html. so here what we have, welcome to I'll make this attacker's website to the nice looking or elegant site. Attacker site. Okay, and okay, so this internally in this page we have an iframe. Okay, iframe, what it is doing, it is iframing. Okay, so let's iframe the FORIEGN. Okay, foreign.codeandboots.com /API. Okay, and width is 500, height is 500. If I keep this iframe, what will happen, it will be visible. Okay, visible means what, it has a width and height. But if I apply some CSS technique, I can make it hidden. Okay, so I'll show you with visible capability. Okay, so site.codeandboots.com. Okay, now let's verify the foreign configuration. So foreign configuration, right now I have added this X-frame protection. I'm just disabling this. So in this foreign site, what I have is, I have just a proxy to one API. Okay, so I'm just restarting Nginx. I'm just refreshing the elegant page. Wait. This is still, FORIEGN.codeandboots.com slash API. Let's verify this first. Let's inspect what's going on. FORIEGN coder in boots.com /API, and this is pointing to, let's start this. Oh, foreign sorry, it is not foreign, it is foreign site dot codeandboots.com. It's a wrong URL, foreign site dot codeandboots.com. Okay, so now let's refresh this. It'll take some time to refresh. Okay, the API was down. Let's start the API. Okay, started. You see, now welcome to elegant website. So the reason for not loading the site was the URL was wrong. It's a foreign site, right? Now you see elegant site and it opened. Welcome to elegant site. Okay, now this content, the foreign site's content was this one, status access. It was just an API call, right? So this got embedded into this one. Right now it is visible. Okay, so but we can make it invisible as well. How we can make it invisible? So it's a simple technique, but I mean in normal way it is not the mechanism. What they do is they create layer on top of the existing UI and make it like a hidden layer itself. Okay, so right now I just made it hidden. Okay, now you see the page, I mean the URL, you will not see it, but you will see a small dot over here, right? So but it's still iframed over there, but as hidden thing because the height and the width is 0. Okay, so that's the reason it is hidden. So still iframed. Okay, it is iframed, right? So it is iframed over there. So here the problem is, that means let's say if this API, right, if this is like I'm in the Facebook's like API, what will happen? Okay, so it will make you hit, it will make you hit that particular like button, right? Similarly, like I mean it is a pay button, so what will happen, it will make you pay on that particular target site, right? So what we need to do, let's say the foreign site we need to protect, right? So foreign site here, let's say if I am enabling X-frame option deny, okay, deny means this foreign site will work as this service Nginx reload. Okay, the foreign site will work as this standalone. So without iframing it works perfectly. Okay, but in the place where it iframed, you see refused to connect, foreign site refused to connect. Why? Because of iframed thing, right? It refused to connect. So because of the Nginx property, we configured foreign site not to be iframed anywhere. Okay, so that is why it is showing refused to connect. Okay, now another configuration is, let's say as I explained, okay, I have an API path configured for this site as well, this site, okay, slash API. So it is available site.codeandboots.com. okay, so this is to demonstrate the same site capability. Okay, so let's say I'm going to iframe the site.codeandboots.com within site.codeandboots.com. This is in the case of same origin. Okay, so let's go to the configuration here. Okay, site attacker site, right? So here what I am going to do is I'm going to first make it deny. Deny means no iframing at all. Okay, and in this index.html, instead of foreign site, I'll just make it site dot. Okay, ideally it should work, right? So but it should not work because the reason is I made it explicitly deny. So now also you see, in case of site dot still working, but in the elegant, okay, that means Ctrl Shift I, see here, okay, so it is trying to internally hit. Okay, so you see Chrome error, right? It is trying to internally hit an API, but it's basically like, I mean, it's throwing refuse to connect, right? The site, the API is internally refusing to connect. Okay, it is giving, it's not getting iframed over here, that is getting blocked. Okay, but let's say if I make the configuration update to enable for the same origin, okay, same origin always Nginx-t, okay, service Nginx reload. Let's see if I am enabling it for the same origin. You see now it is accepting. Okay, so now we discussed about Okay, now we discussed about uh, enabling from same origin, okay, denying from all the places. Now we can even try the allow, also allow from foreign site, right? Nano foreign site. So here what we can do is add header. Instead of deny, we can choose allow from. Allow from https colon site dot puts.com. Okay, so this is like, I mean, embedding the foreign site yeah foreign site. Okay, okay, now this will embed the foreign site. Now you see it is disabled, okay, but but it is allowed from specific. Okay, so it is not allowed from everywhere. Iframing is allowed only from specific origin. Okay, that's the reason it is allowed from here. Okay, so now we have discussed about all the three possibilities: deny from everywhere, allow from specific origin, allow from the same origin. Okay, so I hope, I mean, this clickjacking example is clear. Okay, so when you are developing website and hosting it, or when you are hosting web application, always make sure you address this clickjacking problem, okay, for the vulnerable paths. Okay, otherwise what will happen, attackers will utilize this capability to make, I mean, their own activities. Okay, so I hope this example is clear. So if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel to get the notification of interesting videos. So if you have any questions or feedbacks or anything, please comment below this video. I'll definitely respond back. Thank you very much for watching this video.